The movie titled Blue is the Warmest Color comes to mind when I think of our guest today on Talk Room and his signature blue palette. I'm talking about contemporary artist Koh Sang Woo. Hello and welcome to Talk Room.
Hello, lovely to meet you and thanks for having me here. Beautiful studio.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the compliment, especially coming from someone like you. And I have to compliment you on your outfit today. Very nice accent of the blue as well. Blue is your favorite color?
Blue always has been my favorite color. Ever since I was a child, the sky, ocean, and earth all have one thing in common. It's a blue color.
One of my favorite colors too, actually. Now, you are also known as the pioneer of blue photography. What does that mean exactly, blue photography?
Blue photography means, if you think about the analog days, I was a college student developing film in a darkroom. The photography, you develop the negative film and we develop back to the positive stage. So that color inversion really interests me. The reverse color of the yellow is blue, so that connection was there for me from the early stage.
So yellow referring to the skin tone of Asians, are you talking about, or just people in general that you were photographing?
Just color in general. If you can remember our portrait back in 90s,
Yep.
I don't know how
I
old
remember.
you are.
I remember.
And if you will look at the film in the sky, it's almost like a ghost effect,
That's
right?
true.
A lot of MTV music video used to use that effect, but if you reverse it back to yellow, that's a positive photograph. So that this is before the digital era, but that process was very intriguing for me.
And I understand that the inspiration or of using this blue, the negative, had something to do with your childhood
Yes.
or the experience that you had growing up in the US. Tell us about that.
I left Korea when I was 13. I went to this one small town in West Virginia. I was the only boy with black hair and black eye. And that segregation and a lot of soul searching and self-identity crisis. But now if I look back on the positive note, if I went to a larger city like New York and LA, then I would have access to a lot of Korean community and so-called, but I didn't have any access. So I was always alone. But within a year or two, I was able to speak the language just like them. So on a positive note, that was my privilege.
This was before, of course, K-pop, so being an Asian boy in this small town must have been very challenging. But like you said, there were some positives out of it,
Yes.
and it inspired your art, really, hasn't it?
Very much.
So you've been doing that. So when did you try to use those maybe hardships or challenges that you experienced as a child and bring it into your art? When did that process begin?
I was always outsider looking into the mainstream, so I began to focus on other outsiders, and I wanted to help them and give back to them. So naturally, the progression was I got interest in refugee, people with disability, people with mental trauma, and they were sort of like my target. So in New York, when I was creating a lot of human portrait, they were my models. If you look at my self-portrait, there's a lot of words and text. And those are the excerpts from my high school diary.
Oh.
Yes, if I trace back my high school diary, there's a lot of words like "don't play with my emotion" or "pain over me, I will still be here." And those are the same text that's on my face. So I'm reapplying what I was feeling back then as a young boy to the artwork now.
So you used your own artwork to maybe kind of dive into your own trauma and also represent these marginalized groups and social issues in a way.
Yes.
Did it help you as an artist to heal some of the trauma that you experienced?
Yes, but the healing process was not just for myself. I wanted to reach out to other people who might need help.
Right.
So if you look at my book, there was this book came out in Amsterdam that has 20 years of my history. And these are all the people that I try to help. Like when I would put a casting call, I would literally say, I'm looking for models who has a trauma, who needs mental health, who experienced the death of the loved ones. Then so many people will reach out to me. That's because they're so unique, and I wanted to heal them through the art making process. And it's a very special bonding. It wasn't just a photographer and model, it was more of a collaboration effort.
And what did they feel after they saw the completed work? Did they feel a sense of healing through the process and also seeing their face in your work?
Yes, because whenever I did a photo shoot with models, I never paid them, but instead I would give them my artwork.
Oh,
So that was
better.
the healing process. So if you look at my artwork, there's a mother who's breastfeeding the sick child, and she reached out to me, and it was just various people. I began to build relationship with outsiders, and those are start of my social movement.
And I understand that after you were doing these portraits of these marginalized groups, you took a shift in your work. No longer so many humans, but now your interest has shifted to animals. What inspired that? Was it a natural shift, or was there maybe a particular event that sparked the change?
It was a natural shift. Since I was a child, I was always an animal lover. And it was always in my head, at some point I need to make a transition from human to animal portrait. But that opportunity needed to come very naturally. And in order to do that, I needed my own justification. In 2006, I saw this documentary called Inconvenient Truth.
By Al Gore.
Exactly. She was vice president at the time, and it was about the global warming.
Yes.
And that was a wake-up moment for me. A lot of media labels me as an activist or environmentalist, but I'm a little different. I began to focus on the animal. They are suffering the most because of the global warming. So I focused on the large animal first, like elephant, rhino, tiger, gorilla. So that was a natural transition from human to animals.
Why large ones? Are they because they are the most endangered animals, or
Yes.
they make the best subjects for your artwork, or both maybe?
They are the animals that has the least amount of species left. So when we talk about endangered species, if we think about the tiger, can you guess how many tigers are left on the planet?
On the planet? At least 20,000, no?
3,000
In the wild, you mean?
in the planet,
On
in
the
the entire
planet.
planet. So our effort is to increase that 3,000 number to at least 4,000 to 5,000. And with all the effort from different people, and now we are up to 4,000.
Up to 4,000. Now, the method that you use to portray these animals is quite striking. They're full frontal, looking into almost the soul of the audience member, and they have sometimes a fierce, sometimes also a sad look as well. It must be very deliberate.
Very intentional. Yeah.
What are you trying to portray through that sort of almost aristocratic portrait? What are you trying to convey to the viewer?
I wanted to make sure, through my artwork, elevate the animal right to the same level as human right. So if you come to my exhibition, every artwork, you can make direct eye contact. And that was very intentional for me. I deliberately installed my artwork to the same height as a human eye contact. And my message to everyone is, we are destined to live each other, coexist.
What do people say when they gaze into the eyes of these animal, the portraits that you make? Do they say they feel, I don't know, maybe guilt or sadness? What's the most common sort of reaction?
Common reaction, almost every collector who has my artworks tells me the same story. When I'm sad, the animal is looking at me sad with same emotion. When I go home with a happy emotion, he's looking at me happy. When I'm angry, he's looking at me angry. So after all, it's a reflection of myself. It's almost looking at the mirror effect.
Was that your intention too?
That was sort of my intention, but I didn't think it would expand this much. When I have an exhibition, some audience will stand in front of tiger for 30 minutes. It's a very long time, and that means he's having time trouble.
They're not aware of how long they're just staring into
Right.
the eyes of this
Right.
tiger or
When I
animal,
see that
right?
moment, I'll quietly leave the museum and come back and ask them, and did you have a connection? And the viewer will say, yes, I was deeply connected.
Wow. One of the most memorable pieces that you've made and most well-known, I think, is one called Destiny, a beautiful tiger.
Thank you.
And it was used as the backdrop for the President's New Year address, I believe, in 2022. I'm curious how that sort of collaboration came about, and must have been a great sort of experience for you.
Yes, the first offer I got was in 2021 summer. They told me that we are interested in your tiger artwork. We might use it for New Year's President's speech in 2022. And the reason was clear. 2022 was year of tiger.
That's right.
And we printed my Destiny artwork in 4 meter by 6 meter and installed it at the Blue House. I believe it was President Moon at the time. He was making a New Year's speech. And it was very privileged for me.
4 by 6, that's huge. It's
That's very
bigger
big.
than your usual sort of size of portraits, right?
Much bigger, much bigger.
What was the reaction to that? Because it's so striking, and it's your style of art. You can't imitate it very easily, I think. You look at your art and, oh, that's by Koh Sang Woo. So many people must have recognized it right away. Oh, it's by you.
Yes, I got
A lot of messages.
probably a few hundred messages on New Year's morning. A lot of interesting things happened after that.
I understand it takes you a very long time to complete one piece. Something like 6 months, is that right?
Up to 6 months, minimum 3 months, up to 6 months.
And you begin with a photograph, is that right?
Right.
And you don't just pull up any photograph from the internet. You actually travel around the world to meet these endangered animals in person. You actually photograph them themselves by looking them in the eye. Do you have to go through such troubles? Why do you do this?
Because of one word, eye contact. As I said earlier, I believe in animal rights. And in order to make them into artwork, I need to ask them for permission. And I believe that permission needs to come from eye contact. And if I can physically travel to meet these animals, I will go, I will fly. And when I meet them, if I try 10 times, I will fail 8 or 9 times. A lot
To
of
make
times
eye contact with them, you
to
mean?
even see them
Oh.
at first place. Even 3 weeks ago, I went to Chungnam Taean, Garolinman. The only thing I saw was the footstep.
Oh.
But even then, it's very special for me.
What were you trying to see? What animal?
A spotted seal.
Okay.
It's a Korean national treasure.
What about the farthest you've gone, the most out there? What's the most difficult place that you've been and you maybe succeeded in meeting an animal?
I think I traveled to South Asia a lot.
Okay.
Because there you can find elephant and tiger regularly. And these are the animals that were rescued from the circus. So I can just pay them money, and instead of tour course, I would just touch them and make eye contact and take pictures. And they would look at me like, what are you doing, paying all this money just to have eye contact? But unless that happens, I cannot make eye contact with them. Personally, I don't go to zoo because I'm against that whole system. So that's the only way I can make eye contact with them, traveling.
Now, I know because of your personal drive to help animals and bring more awareness about these endangered species, you also work in partnership with organizations. One of them would be Remember the Face with the Worldwide Fund for Nature,
Correct.
or WWF. Tell us more about that project.
That is a calendar project for next year. Remember the Face means we need to remember these faces before they disappear. Every September, I will get approached by different banks for calendar and corporation calendar, but I never accepted them, even though the artist fee was quite large, because I couldn't find the justification to have my artwork in finance institution. But this offer, I accepted it because we can together sell this calendar and donate 100% profit back to the endangered species. So we created limited edition of 8,000 calendars, and we plan to donate all back to
All the proceeds.
all the proceeds back to the endangered species. Hello everyone, my name is Koh Sang Woo and this is my studio space. So let me introduce you the Blue Whale project I recently participated. As you can see, this whale sculpture were installed at Cheonggyecheon for 1 year. This setup is dedicated to my cat, who recently passed away. When she lost her vision, I started to draw her eye and place them into the baby tiger. This work is called Fate, but I wanted to make sure her vision is alive into the tiger's eye. So this work is very meaningful for me. Here we have two paintings, and the one on the left, I visited this exhibition of a child named Junso, and this painting struck my head. And I fell in love with this painting, so I had to collect it. And the one on the right is, he called me as a mentor, so I will regularly review and critique his painting. And recently he sent me this gift called Koh Sang Woo 작가님. This gift really touched my heart. I will continue to advise so he can become a next big painter.
Well, first of all, your studio looks more like a showroom, incredibly tidy. Is it really like that all the time, or did you just tidy up for cameras?
To be honest, I keep my studio like that every day. I have a bit of OCD problem. And number one reason is because I have rescue animals in my studio. I need to provide them with the most clean environment.
You have rescued animals in your
Rescued
studio?
cat. In the beginning
The
of
cat.
that show, there
The
was
beautiful
a cat.
It's
Beautiful
a rescued cat. I see. We also saw another cat. You mentioned your cat that recently passed away. I'm sorry to hear that. And it inspired your favorite work. Tell us more about that.
The title is called Fate. It's probably the most famous artwork of mine last few years. It's a baby tiger, but she has eye of
A cat.
a
Your
cat, my cat. She was my daughter and my best friend. And oh my God, I can't get emotional. When she lost her vision, I decided to put her eye into baby tiger I was working on. And I don't believe in euthanasia. So I will have to live with them and support them. So I have a lot of memories with my daughter.
So you captured her gaze forever in this baby tiger work called Fate. And you've immortalized her in a way, and you can look into her eyes and her gaze every single day.
Every single day.
It's beautiful. We also saw some works not by you, a very talented young artist, Park Jun-seo. I understand he's just 11, an elementary student. How did you meet him?
Those small drawings are the campaign I started back in 2021 for the children. So I would travel to different schools and foundation. On the Children's Day, I get request a lot to teach the drawing classes. And it's at early age, I wanted to install the idea of protecting the planet and tell them the endangered species, we need to protect them. And I collaborated with 3,000 children last 4 years, and one of them I met was Junso. He's 11 years old and has autism, but his energy and potential was incredible. And his role model was me.
So you're mentoring him
I am mentoring
on his artistic
him,
journey as well.
And that painting you saw in the video was a very special gift for me. I am behind him,
Yes.
looking at his painting. Two of us are surrounded by different animals. So it was a very meaningful gift.
It's gorgeous. His
Very
paintings
much.
are gorgeous. Your works are actually, or you are introduced in textbooks, and you're described as an eco-artist who inspires new ways of thinking. That must be very special. How did it feel to have your work introduced like that?
This year, I was introduced in 5 different textbooks. And that's probably the most special moment for me. 3rd grader, 4th grader, and 8th grader, and 9th grader. Besides all the exhibition and auction record, and those are not that important for me. Being in the textbook is my biggest achievement.
Right. You get to touch so many young minds and hearts from a very young age. What does it give you working with like young artists like Chun-seo, or working with these 3,000 students, young students, and featuring in elementary schools textbooks? It must also inspire you in turn. What do you get out of it?
Yes, I enjoy teaching them a lot more than teaching college or high school students because they have something we do not have.
Which is?
Fresh perspective. You'll be surprised how many times I get goosebumps by looking at their drawings because of the pure perspective. And they see things very different than us. They're very pure and direct. So sometimes I will improvise their idea into my artwork as well. So we are collaborating.
And how special it is that you are able to recognize that unique sort of fresh perspective, because oftentimes, you know, when we're young, we have that unique perspective, but then it gets maybe educated or schooled
Yes.
out of us.
Yes.
No, you're not supposed to do it that way, you should follow this way. But to have a mentor like you who recognizes that and encourages them to grow and develop that, I think that's very special for them as well. Let's talk about the more experimental art that you are doing, because you have experimented from performance art to using photography, the negative, and now I understand also NFT and even collaborating with AI. Is this the way of the future? Is this the way not only you, but you see a lot of maybe Korean artists sort of heading towards?
Yes, I do. At personal level, when new tools come out, I think artists needs to test them first. Like my mother used to always tell me, try it, you may like it. That's the approach that artists should take when new tools gets introduced.
Because some artists or some creative people might feel threatened. They thought that AI, you know, creativity was not in their realm, but we are seeing increasingly that AI could be, I don't know if just as creative, but they can be creative, and you could feel threatened, but you're saying artists should be the first to sort of embrace that technology and learn how to use them.
Because when wave comes, instead of avoiding it, artists should be able to ride it and learn from it and let others know what the experience was like. And AI does not have one thing we have.
Which is?
Emotion. And emotion can beat logic at a lot of times. And I always go back to the Google Go match between Sedo Lee and AlphaGo. Mr. Lee made the most unpredictable move to beat AlphaGo.
One time, right?
One time. And I was looking at that and thought to myself, that is the decision made by his emotion.
So I guess staying true to our emotions or staying in tune with our emotions is something that we need to kind of protect or maintain no matter what tools and what sort of technology throws our way, because AI will not be the last, right? We'll continue to see new technologies, but if we stay true to what makes us human, which is, like you said, emotion,
Yes.
that'll help us in a way stay ahead of all the technologies. I heard you also have a personal motto that you kind of repeat to yourself every single day. Could you share it with us?
It's 4 lines. Be humble, be grateful, think outside the box, and lastly, always stay curious.
Well, they say that great art begins with life and also should return to it. And I think that expression expresses the work and maybe life of our contemporary artist, Koh Sang Woo, who was our guest on Talk Room today. So thank you once again for sharing your stories and for your work and for your philosophy as well. It's been
Thank
great.
you for having me. It was
you.
my great privilege.
Pleasure was all ours. Thank you.
Yes.